market.
Live streaming is on.
Nice. But that would be the prediction market aspect. That's a little bit further down the line. I'm pretty focused on just web scraping for now. There's a lot of applications for it. There's a lot of data out there that's really useful that is just not really collected into a proper data set of some kind. So just taking, for example, like a product website that sells computers, if you can take all the information on that site and convert it into a standard format, saying that there's a SKU, there's a price. So sorry, this is a bad example. 1 sec. Here's a better one. And I'm sending you some claps also. Thank you.
No problem.
Claps. So this would be a standard process for a product website that's selling things. So you take the pricing information, SKU information, an image, title.
What is a SKU?
SKU is the stock keeping unit, is what they call it here. It's just like a unique key that represents the product.
On a database of stocks, like companies that are on Wall Street, or whatever.
Oh no, for like a retail company.
Stock. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So retail companies, like there's a lot of different companies that do online retail, and they all have their own unique key for each product usually. But a lot of the time they're very similar, so you can correlate them somehow. You can also do things with the title text and things like that, so you can find kind of comparable products. Wonder if I can get into Hercules right now. So it's the best example of this. So we built this as a consulting project for a client a couple of years ago. And pretty much what it does is, if it works. It's very slow, it seems. It basically, on the right here, shows you products that are comparable from competitors. So if you have 3 or 4 different companies that you're competing against, we can show you all of their products next to your products so that you can compare the pricing and the product features and the images and things like that. So for some industries, it's very helpful information to have. Oh yeah, here's one. So there's no competitor matching products here, but basically how this works is that it shows you all the items that could be similar to it so that your salespeople can tell what they should sell it for. I think there's a good example here. 1 sec.
So the salespeople, they will go there and see, oh, I'm trying to sell you this, and this is better for the competition because of this X, Y, and Z feature or something that they have there.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of this is it's just useful information to collect. Sorry, my example's not working very well here.
No problem.
This is no longer maintained by me. He has an in-house tech team that are supposed to be taking care of this. But yeah, so that's the general idea, is to extract all this information in a kind of common format. I actually have a call with the CEO of Arweave next week, which is really exciting. They have they're the archival part of our system. So he was very excited about our project because for him, it's a way to ingest the internet. So they're thinking about maybe giving us some funding to just basically go and scrape a ton of websites and put them into Arweave.
Cool. And how does it work, the data marketplace? So when you have that index, you just go there and publish the JSON that has been curated by the nodes in Koi, right?
Yeah, they Ocean is the main one that's out there right now. They have kind of an ERC20 derivative that allows you to have a data resource attached to the token. So you can sell access to a data resource in a kind of controlled environment.
So they have to pay a token that is like the Ocean token in order to get to that data.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So it's kind of a way for us to fundraise a little bit to cover this process of scraping the internet.
How do you go to that? Why that problem is important for you? I mean, how do you get to start to think about a semantic web?
So the thing with the semantic web that's neat is most of the internet is pretty accessible if you use Google to find things.
Mhm.
But if you don't want to use Google, there's no public data set that allows you to actually find what you're looking for. So there's no public index. There's no way to say like, here's the top 20 websites that have this kind of content. There's also no real historical record of the internet. So you can change the content of a website later and no one will know, which has been a big problem for fake news and things like all the people that were producing fake content to put on Facebook so that they could convince people to vote one way or another in an election. So kind of having the ability to have 100 witnesses look at a website and say, this is what was on that website on this date, sign that and put it somewhere, kind of allows you to create that chain of accountability. So having this scraping set up first allows us to then build on top of that to say, okay, now that we all agree what's on the website, we can begin to have a conversation about whether or not we can trust that information. Because until you know what's there and everybody can say this is what was there on that date, then the information about whether or not it's trustworthy is actually not very useful.
All right. And it's not about like the indexing, it's more about the curation part, right?
Right. Right.
So now that makes sense. Or now I can tell the difference between this and the GRT, or the graph protocol is more about like indexing, which is also another important problem when it comes to blockchain data. That is hard to get on-chain data on an easy way.
Yeah. The other thing that we're doing too, this eventually becomes an Oracle network. So projects like Chainlink or Band, their main thing that they do is they allow you to make a GET request. So one sec. Incidentally, Chainlink is not decentralized. Did you know that?
No, I mean, I just bought some Link like 2 months ago, but I haven't checked the
so they've got this problem with their Oracle network where they just haven't really expanded it yet. So they only have like one server or one person who's making all these requests. Basically, it's all going through a central routing node. And if you go on their Discord, there's like hundreds of people who say, I bought all this Chainlink so that I can actually use it to run a node. And why can't I run a node? And they're not like, they've let like, I think 5 people set up operator nodes. So it's very tightly controlled. But that might be just a decision on their part. I'm not sure. But basically their whole process is like being able to make a GET request from a smart contract. And then similarly, like being able to parse the results of it. But that's all that Chainlink is really used for in a smart contract. So Koi is another way to do this, but instead of having one node that we think we trust actually go and do that, we have hundreds or thousands of Koi nodes.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an important.
It's kind of a useful proof of work, sort of. It's not actually proof of work that's happening, but it's a useful way that people can contribute processing power in order to earn our token. So it creates kind of a barrier to entry. So the token is still scarce, but it also allows us to do this extra functionality on the back end.
Pretty cool. And you were proposing, for example, in this call to do something with a link, but I didn't get that part. I mean, you were proposing that people who were in this call could be scraping. I would like to learn to do that.
So not so much, not that the people in the call would do the scraping, but that if we wanted to, each person, because we're saying that somebody's going to write a piece of content, each thing that they write, they could submit a URL and we could index the site to have a witness, basically. So Koi could witness that they had published their blog post on time.
How do you do that? I mean,
so all you would have to do is hit our API with a URL that you want to index. It's really straightforward, actually. All we do is keep track. We keep a list of all the URLs that somebody has paid for. And right now, it's 1 Koi is the bounty. So you pay 1 Koi and the URL gets indexed 1 time.
So can you guide me through? For example, I'm going to take my last Medium article.
Mhm.
So I have that URL. So where should I send that link to be indexed?
So we go on here. We have an API we're working on. It hasn't quite been finished yet, but there's a demo button up in the top right here. So we click the demo
Where
button.
should I go?
Openkoi.com. Oh, sorry. I stopped sharing my screen again. Yeah.
Coin.com.
Or actually, if you want to share your screen, I'll guide you through it.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
Isn't it this one? What is this?
Sorry. Openkoi.com, not open dot.
Cool.
You can just remove- yeah.
OpenKoi.
I unfortunately couldn't get koi.com. Oh well. In the top right, click demo.
Uh-huh.
And then you would just type in your URL here, and we'll start to index it for you.
How do you scrape the data?
With an HTTP request.
But using like Python or something? What is the backend using for that?
So the backend doesn't do any scraping. This is getting run through Puppeteer on the server. So when somebody uses the user interface, we have to go get the information. But otherwise, in the client, the downloadable desktop app, when you or when it is scraping a website, it has a cluster of browser tabs that run in a headless mode. So we basically we set up a browser without showing you anything, and we just run the browser and load each one of the websites that's needing to be scraped. But that happens on the on a member's or on the member's computer. So if you download our app, then you are part of that scraping network.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I just sent the URL and I got this scraped content. If I click get my info, what should I get?
So you won't get anything right now. If you click on one of those sections, though, so if you wanted that
paragraph, for example,
just click to select it,
and
then click get my info. You can add a label there.
So
paragraph 1.
Okay.
Just for the sake of showing you how it works. Then click public URL. Oh, and then open that link there. And there's not going to be anything there right now. But if you go back to the app and then click the next button.
Send me data?
Yep. There we go. So if you go back to that link again now.
And refresh, I guess.
Yeah. There it is. So this is roughly what would get added to the archive.
So you're getting that paragraph is going to be indexed with a JSON. What's the meaning of that ID? Is it like a new entrance on the...
That particular ID is just the unique, that's the unique payload memory, basically. But what this does is it creates a scraper object in our database, and now this can be run anytime. So if you wanted to index let's say a product website where the price changes once a week, you could automatically go back and get the new price from that website. And it knows how to find that specific HTML div on the page, and then to be able to get the information from it. So there's some nice applications there. What we do mostly at the moment is we scrape like the top 100 links off of Reddit, for example, and then we run that scraper once a day. So every day there's a few hundred links, and we just go through and we get most of the content out of them. And if you wanted to, you could use this to set up like an entire sitemap or a bunch of other options like that.
And where is the low-hanging fruit for the for the most valuable data? I mean, I guess like products is one of them, like when you kind of index different type of products, but what else?
Product websites are one really big one. So things like Amazon are really valuable. The other one that people are really interested in, or at least the people that I've talked to is image data. So whenever we scrape a website currently, we take the images and we also get the title and the alt tag for the images, and we store that in our database as well. So we're creating kind of this data set of images along with very basic tagging. The main point, though, again, is mainly to get this index that shows us where all this information is so that later on we can come back to it and get people to stake their COI tokens to validate it somehow. And that could just be saying, I think this is good, I think this is bad. It could be saying, I think this image contains a cat. Things like that, right?
That's super interesting. I would like to learn more and to be part of one of the curators. I mean, that's a smart way to get to know and to understand a project that maybe is going to be valuable in the future.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. I'd love to get you trying out the API once we have that out too. That's definitely on the to-do list at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, let me know how can I start playing with this. And
are you on our Discord? I think you are, right?
Yeah. But I have not been quite active, so
no, that's okay.
Here.
In the next day or two, there will be a desktop app that you can download, a new version of it, actually. The old version is in the announcements channel right now, but scroll down a little bit. There they are. So that was our initial MVP that we launched last week. Now we're going to try and launch one more, I think, hopefully. So we've got a version 1.1 coming out this week, and that's going to be much easier to use. So when that one comes out, I'll tag you. You can try it out. And hopefully you should be able to earn lots of COI. Initially, we're scraping about 1,000 web pages a day and basically paying out 1 COI per web page. So might be lots of free COI going around if you want to earn some.
Yeah, sure. And also in Spanish, that also could be something that is strategically interesting for you, like diversity of language.
Definitely.
I guess.
Yeah. The trick at the moment, I'm trying to figure out how to do this actually, because I've noticed that most websites appear differently depending on which IP address you're coming from. So we're working on something for our hash table now, but it's a little tricky to combine the consensus mechanism with locally valid information. So if you're the only guy in Colombia, for example, then I don't know whether you're sending me something that's completely fake or whether you just are seeing a different website than other people are.
Okay. Oh, fuck, this is closed.
Locked out.
¿Me abres?
Quedaste por fuera.
And it was cool outside.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
All good.
Definitely, I want to be more active on the Discord. That sounds like a really cool place to, hang out and learn. And I asked this friend of mine about like someone that he knows from the course that he taught, but he told me that not really good, like experienced people. So in the future for next, give me 1 second, sorry. They asked me to move to a different place.
That's okay.
So yeah, I talked with my friend and he told me that maybe it's a better idea for next year with his colleagues that they might have more experience. So I will let you know.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not too worried about the CTO side of things. I'm a pretty technical person, so far I've been able to manage it. I just know that like probably 2 months or so from now, when I start doing the fundraising round, I'm going to need somebody else kind of helping me with some things so that I'm not trying to do too many different things at once.
Okay.
No, I'd love to have you involved, man. It's very much in flux, to be honest. The main thing with the Koi thing at the moment is I want as many people as possible to be able to install the app on their computers and receive Koi tokens.
Great. And how can I do that? It's not yet there, right? Or with the...
There is an app there right now. It's not very good. I would wait for V1.1, which we'll probably have on January 1st.
Okay.
But I'll tag you once that's out, and it'd be great if we can do it again.
Sure.
In the meantime, I think we should try to get on a call for the blog on Saturday or Sunday this weekend.
Yeah. So what time works best for you?
I'm probably not the hard one to please. I think we should, in the writers group, see when everybody's available. I know that Dan and Clayton both want to participate, so they'll probably join if we pick a time that works for them.
Okay, so let's propose something. For me, will be better Saturday, because Sunday I will be moving back to the city. So
yeah, that makes sense. How's Saturday? Wait, sorry, did you say Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday at 1 p.m. CST?
Maybe later after lunch, because that's exactly lunchtime here. CST right now.
Maybe 3 p.m.?
Yeah, let me check. CST is 1 hour less. 3 p.m. 4 p.m. CST. That will be, yeah.
That works for me. I'll bug Dan and Clayton. I think they both want to join, so they'll probably be very interested.
Yeah, what about Levi? Levi was interested at first.
I think he's got other things to focus on right now, and he's just not writing as much. He started a company recently, and I think his focus has been on trying to get customers, and writing doesn't really help that. So, yeah, I can bug him as well, though. He sometimes replies to my messages. So,
okay, yeah. What a shame that he lost like all his pickle.
He lost a lot of money on pickle. Yeah. Not just pickle, but also he lost money, I think, because he had a lot of ETH in the liquidity pools on Uniswap. So he had a lot of money in the pickle ETH liquidity pool. So then when pickle tanked, he lost a lot of his ETH as well.
Ooh.
Because he had it locked up in the liquidity pool. So he had like half of his money in pickle and half of it in ETH. And then he had that in a pickle jar, thinking that he was going to make all this money. And then pickle went to zero. So he lost all of his pickle. And then his ETH flooded into the pickle side of that liquidity pool. And then I think he exited when that happened too. Like he exited at the bottom. So now he's stuck. But I think he'll be okay. He's a pretty smart guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah.
Great job jumping into our Twitter discussion and getting us onto this, because this has been a great thing to look at. It's been really fun. Where
was it? What is that? In the Koi?
No, you found us on Twitter. That's how you got Levi and I into this in the first place, I think.
Yeah, but it was because Billy just like tagged you guys, and that's why.
Yeah, but it was great. It worked out really well.
Yeah. What do you want to get done next year when it comes to grading? I mean, because the graders block is something that I would really like to continue doing, but with a more like to define like a bigger or just like a more custom workflow.
I know what you mean. It's a good question. I think the main thing I'm trying to write about is going to be the Koi stuff. So I do want to start getting my like weekly blog posts back out again, because that makes a big difference for people seeing content coming out and feeling comfortable with it. I'm hoping like probably starting in the first week of January, I'm going to be writing a lot more content on my blog.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm trying to think about what I want to get done for next year, and definitely something more like technical thing when it comes to web development.
Oh yeah,
like with a focus on smart, like UX for Web3. That would be the thing that we would like to get done for next year.
That would be a really cool blog. I think there's a lot of people that need that. I noticed even with Coinosis, you have some pretty good features. Like when somebody's not on XDAI, you show that message and you explain how to set the MetaMask to XDAI. I think that kind of stuff does really well. So even just explaining that would be a great post.
Yeah, and do it better. And I would like to get to understand, like, there's one really cool library. It's called Rimble from Consensus. Just like to show, like to do tutorials and explaining how to apply that to Web3 applications.
Rimble UI. Oh, I found it. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to read that stuff because I need as much of that as I can. I'm going to start actually making Koi into a smart contract system, and I am terrified of how complicated that's going to be for the average person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the UX, like scalability and UX, are like the two biggest bottlenecks.
Truly. Not even scalability, really. I think scalability is fine at the moment for DeFi. It's just the UX sucks.
Mm. Yeah, so definitely that's something that I would really like to be. I have a monopoly in that regard.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I'm just like trying to remember, like a personal monopoly.
Oh, monopoly. Got it. Yeah.
Monopoly. Mm-hmm. I like this guy, David Perel. Have you seen?
Don't think so.
His content. David Perel, writing online. I think he had something related with a personal monopoly. And a way to do that is with writing and sharing knowledge, so people can, when they think about a certain topic, they are going to think about your skills. Yeah, here's a post.
Kind of being the only person that knows how to do a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Clayton replied. He's in for Saturday.
Great.
Oh, I didn't see this. Okay. I just got your note there.
So let's set the call. I can do that. And we can share the link.
This looks like a really good post. I can't wait to read through it.
Which one?
The one that you just sent, Build a Personal Monopoly. Let's get inside.
Yeah, this guy Perel has like a good podcast and has been arguing why writing online is the best way to leverage your career.
I like that he references Jerry Garcia. Do you know who Jerry Garcia is?
Nope.
He's he used to be the lead singer of the Grateful Dead.
I'm not related. I don't know that band. So
one sec, I'll send a link. This is the guy.
What is that? Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead are a band, or well, they still are a band actually. But Jerry Garcia was the like the head guy of the band, and he used to be very well known as the guy that would lead like a troop of hippies around, and they took buses with like 50 people on each bus from place to place, and they'd set up their tents and do a bunch of drugs until the next concert. And they used to roam around the country following him like all the time. That was what they did for fun. I've met some of these people in Chicago who are like 50, 60 years old, and they started out partying with the Grateful Dead when they were in their 20s, and they're still going around to all these Grateful Dead reenactments and concerts and things.
Okay.
There's people that have been following this guy for like 40 years. It's crazy. So when he says like, Jerry, the first line of the blog post that you sent is, Jerry Garcia once said, "You want to be the only person that does what you do."
Okay.
That's what Jerry Garcia was doing that nobody else was doing, is he was leading a troop of hippies around the US.
Okay. Great context for that. I mean, I will start to read that and will like ignore who is Jerry Garcia. Okay.
He's a very interesting guy. You should look into Jerry Garcia a little bit. He was like a cult leader basically, but he was a really nice guy.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyways, man, I gotta hop off so I can go do some actual work, but it's good to talk to you.
Yeah, I will set up the call and I will share the link and let's talk on Saturday.
Cool. Yeah, I guess we have to stake before Saturday, or will Saturday be the staking call?
We can stake before that. What are we going to propose? Like more like a long session for each one of us writing, or is it going to be more show the thing that you did?
I think we could do both. We could do one long one where we write and then do a quick one where we show it. Or we could show it at the beginning and then write for an hour.
I would like to try that one. So I'm going to set up the call for an hour.
Okay.
Maybe we can have a draft or something like this, and someone to work with this. And the Writer's Corner didn't took off, but this is going to be like a Writer's Corner. We're just going to be like connected, and at the end of that, we're going to share the actual link that is published, and we can do the COI thing.
Sounds good to me, man.
Okay.
Awesome. I'll talk to you 2 days. Talk to you on Saturday.
Yep.
Cool, man. Happy New Year in the meantime. Enjoy the festival.
Yeah. Same to you.
See ya.
Bye.